Hello everyone and welcome to a new video. If you read the title for this video, I am now reviewing The Ballad of Never After by Stephanie Garber, and this one is the second book in the Once Upon a Broken Heart series. I think it's supposed to be a trilogy because how this ended needs to be a second book, even though it's only written up 2 on Goodreads, but I assume it's going to be a third book, sorry. And I will try to review it here. It won't be spoilery, because I never do really spoiler reviews unless I say so, which is, fine. But obviously, if you haven't read this first book and you don't want to know anything about the second book, I don't recommend you checking out this video, just because I will need to talk about slightly what this is about. Not with spoilery for this book, but if you haven't read the first one and don't want to know anything, I won't spoil the first one. So basically, the first book in the series follows Evangeline. I'm not sure how to say her name. And she was in love, and then her sister suddenly was marrying the love of her life. So she believed he was cursed and goes to this fate to ask for help to stop their wedding. And then he does by turning them into stone. And then she's just like, this is not what I wanted, and saves them and turns into stone herself. She's later then saved, and then realizes that her chance of love is gone and is going to go out for like a new chance for love, etc. My parents are walking a lot upstairs. She then needs to work closely together with a fate that she asked firstly for help for, which his name is Jax. There's a lot of tension between them, a back and forth, because he is not to be trusted. He's one of the fate. He does things for his own gain, etc, etc. And the first book kind of feels a bit like a fairy tale, it's like fated love and curses, because she also owns him 3 kisses in the first book after he helped her, and it's a bit like, 3 is a number that's repeated in fairy tales, but it's definitely a fairy tale with twists on it. Like, there's curses, there's more sexual tension, I think, in a normal fairy tale, and I think the author did a good job of like taking fairy tale tropes and turning them around. But it's definitely a book that knows what kind of genre it is put in. It is not the most serious book in the world. It is not the most like complex and oh my god mind-blowing thing ever. It definitely knows kind of which audience it is going to, I think, at least, and it knows what it is doing. So I wouldn't say the book is like the most perfect thing ever, but it's definitely entertaining, and I know a lot of people would enjoy it. So in this book, we follow on the events of the first book, where our main character has realized some stuff in the end. Like, again, I won't spoil what exactly she realized, but she realized a lot of stuff in the end of the first one, and she is now like not gonna repeat her mistakes, and then she goes exactly and does that instantly. And I was just like, what was the point of the ending of the last book if this is what we're gonna do anyway? Like, what was the point? It was only to keep the audience going to the second one, kinda ending on a cliffhanger in the first one, but the cliffhanger is literally just like meaningful for, and then I mean literally 2 pages. 2 pages does not have any meaning whatsoever for the story. Other than that, it's like it's never happened. Even if our main character Evangeline reminds herself of what happened in the first book, she does not care. She like cares for like 0%. I mean 1.1%. She's gonna get that. And I'm just like, what was the point of the ending? Remind me of that. It is the kind of book for me, if you use a bit more brain cells to think about it, if you consider some stuff again, it just doesn't make any sense, because it's just like, why are you so stupid? Why are you doing this? Etc, etc. And it's kind of just like a book with not all that logic. That's why I'm thinking you cannot think too deeply about it and too thorough about it. As I said, it knows which audience it's going to. I'm not saying people are stupid. I'm just saying it's going to the audience that like want an easy and fun read, that just wants to have these 2 people wanting to have sex with each other and just for stupid reason cannot, just because literally they're stubborn. And that's the kind of audience it is going for. And if you're not the kind of person who likes that book, I wouldn't recommend this to you. But if you want more substance, I wouldn't say that this is a book for you. It is fun because it's turning those fairy tale things around, and it is a very easy read, and it's fun to like see these people. Some of the stuff happening, it's just a kind of stupid. I could give an example because it's not really on spoiler, but like in, I would say, one of the books of the 2, we have like a scene where one of them is kind of cursed for the night and wants to harm the other, but not like harm, like punch them, but like doing something. I don't want to say what. And it's just like they locked in together the whole night waiting for this to go over. And I can tell you, the sexual tension in that scene, I was feeling it too. So like, it's fun kind of like that. And I definitely see what the author's doing. It's just some stuff, it just doesn't make sense. Our main character keeps saying over and over and over again that this person cannot be trusted. She should not be doing this. Why is she doing things like on her own? She's getting into danger. She's doing exactly what she's not supposed to be doing constantly. And she doesn't care. And it's just like no proper consequences like the whole time sometimes. This is why, like, if you think about it too hard, it's gonna annoy you. And it's like, it annoyed me at some points, but then I stopped thinking. I turned off my brain. And I just enjoyed the story for what it was, which is like a fun fairy tale-esque feel. Really just a romance though between these two characters. And it's just trying to do some stuff with like the past of the dude Jax. And by the way, I hate the name Jax. It's like you have a Jack, but it's several Jacks. Because you have an S in the end. I hate it. That's the point. And he's just like piney past, blah 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 blah. He's the bad boy, but he's not really a bad boy. And I'm just like, at least try a bit better. Because he's an awful bad boy. It's just kind of ridiculous, but it's kind of funny. Anyways, to talk more a bit specific about this book, I don't really know what to say like about the plot. It left off exactly where the first book ended. The thing that happened at the end of the first book doesn't have anything to say. And they are going after some objects. Basically, that's the plot of the book, but it doesn't really feel like they're doing it. And then in the first book, we have several curses, you know, the curse of them turning into stone. And then we had like other curses in the book that I don't want to talk about because it's spoilers. But if you read the first book, you know what I'm talking about. There's several curses. So here in this one, we're adding more curses. There's at least 2 present in the book. And I thought the curse itself was actually quite interesting. How it connects to certain characters and then twists around because since they're connected, they kind of get screwed over with a second curse. And I found the curses very much interesting. I just wish they could actually have been explored more. Like in a different book, in a different setting, I like the curses. In here, it became a bit boring. It's not done enough with them. And it's kind of disappointing. But it's really just like, I didn't have any extra expectations. It's not like I felt disappointment. It was just like, I was thinking about these curses, utilizing them in my brain, like if I was writing the story. And I thought they were cool. So there's that. And you know, that is the driving point for the book. Kind of breaking these curses, which is kind of, you know, the same in the first one. And then just sexual tension happens. And then we have the ending, which is kind of a really typical ending where you're going to end on a cliffhanger. You do that thing that happened in the end. I'm not going to spoil it, but if you're reading the book, I would say that I'm pretty used to this ending now because this happens several times when I read these kinds of books where that ending happens. It never has any consequences. It never really matters. It's just to have the reader read the next book in the series. And it's not like I hate it. It's just a trope I don't care about because you know it's not gonna matter. It's a trope with no consequences, I feel like. And of course, the author might surprise me and do something more about this trope. It's just one of my least favorite tropes, as I wrote it up on the list because I'm planning to do a video on that in the future. Whereas I just don't care. And it's just like, I literally, when that trope happens, I laugh out loud because I just think it's ridiculous. Because it's just like, for me, it's always been a way that author just does something to make the reader shocked and be like wanting to read more. But then they always just are like, well, it didn't matter in the end anyway. So I know it's going to be okay. So I'm just like, ah. And then I just laughed because I thought it was funny. I was just like, really, this is where we're going. I didn't expect it though. That's the thing. I didn't expect it to go, like, to actually do that. But of course it would. It's that kind of book it would happen in. So of course it would. I wrote down a page number. I think I had something to say. I would check. Let's see. What is this? Did I just write on a page for sexual attention? This is what it seems like. In case you've forgotten, I am not everyone, little fox. His eyes dropped to her lips, searing him out with one sharp look and instantly reminding her of what he could do with a single kiss. Evangeline bit down on her lip, just to taunt him back. Something primal flashed behind Jax's eyes, desire or anger, she couldn't quite tell. All she knew was that her mouth was swollen from the force of his gaze, an inescapable sense that he wished to be the one biting down on her lip instead. Sorry. That is how the book is, literally. This is just them being horny. I wish the book was more horny. I wish this was like a proper fantasy romance where we were literally just horny and that we were actually having proper horniness on page instead of like a teasing horny. But it's fine. I think, you know, it's a YA. They are not daring enough to go to the proper horny stage yet. But I feel like this could have been like a proper fantasy romance, and it would have been very fun. Because it literally is set up like it anyway. You know, when I read really like proper fantasy romance, or like just romance in general, I always feel like they're trying to make the plot too cool. And then you don't have enough focus on the romance, and then I'm bored because I just wanted to have sex. And here, the plot is not good enough to carry the story. It is the romance that is the focus, which is fine. But then I just wish they went all in for the romance instead of just trying to have like this resemblance of a plot that's distracting me from the romance. And then the romance ain't that good anyway because it's not daring to go into like the proper. I'm not saying that you need to like have sex, but the proper like really going hard at it. Because it's trying to have this plot as well. And I don't know. I guess the book, I enjoyed it. And I feel like at the same time, it's not the kind of book that I would love anyway. And I feel like I'm not maybe the best audience for it. Because I like more complexity and stuff. But I can still enjoy it for what it is. I can still enjoy like the funny parts of it. And just like, you know, as I just read, like I can laugh at it. And I do think the kind of like fairy tale twistiness of it is fun. It is just kind of ridiculous, like the amount of curses, the amount of stupid decisions our main character makes, and just how obvious it is who like they really have feelings for. And then like them trying to make it seem like they actually have feelings for others. I'm just like, why do you bother, you know? But it is that kind of book, and I don't know. I gave the first one 3 out of 5 stars. I think I gave these 2 out of 5 stars as well. I liked it. That's it. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. But I could definitely like talk about it and just like I did here. Like, it's not a perfect book. It's not the worst book in the universe either. But you can enjoy it. And I feel like a lot of people are enjoying them. That's what it seems like for me. It's just, as I said, not my kind of book. What I'm gonna end off this video is, can you believe a book like this has vampires in it? I didn't know. I wouldn't say it's a spoiler. But the vampires came out of nowhere. They're not going away. And they are so weird. And I'm just like, can we please stop this vampire thing? Because the vampire does a certain thing. And it's happened twice in 2 books now. And I'm just like, we don't need this plot anymore. We can move on. I guess it wasn't that much more to say. There's other characters too, I guess. But I feel like they don't have anything to say in the book whatsoever. The only focus and the only importance is the romance. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a heart emoji down below if you enjoyed this. And you will see me soon in a new video. Thank you so much for watching. All my social media links are down below if you want to check me out. Including my Patreon if you want to support my channel further. And you will see me soon in a new video. Goodbye!